Hello, my dear subscribers. We finally start. I'm sorry for being a little bit later, and I'm checking technical details yet. Something doesn't work. I think you see me with some pause, but I still hope that finally we will be able to talk, and you can ask me questions and I will answer them. So today we discuss the topic of choosing a wife in Ukraine and what you should look for when you want to find a woman for marriage in Ukraine or in general. And today we start with the most important thing. I believe it's about values. When I talk with the clients, men and women, when the man chose already her and wants to continue to meet her at least, we find out what values you have and what are the values of women. And let's talk about this thing more in details. So the values, what it is, usually it's considered to be the most important things or aims in your life. For example, it can be family, it can be love, it can be career, it can be success in your profession, and so on. And sometimes when people make lists, they have several values in it, but usually you can detect top 3 values, 2-3 values in your life too. So I suggest you such an experiment, little exercise to understand your values now. Just write what you consider to be your values at the moment. Make a list to the paper. Write as many values as you consider to be yours at the moment of time, and after you do it, open your plan for each day for the last week, for example, and see what is the percentage of time that you spent for each value. And this way you can understand if your values are real, honest, or at the moment you think that you have this value, but in fact you are doing different things. 1 second, I will read what you write me. Today already 2 people are commenting. Thank you, my dears. Your sound video is good, perfect. What are the most important qualities for Ukrainian woman, Ernie? I think that each man will answer this question himself, for himself and for his future woman. It's very personal. Yes, Ukrainian women have good family values. This is what makes them more attractive, I think too. I never dated another woman from any country or even Ukraine, but I talk with Ukrainian women. I know what they want and what they dream about, and you can tell me more what Western women are. So when you make the list, when you looked at the plan of your days, you see how much your values that you wrote correlate with what you do every day in your life. And thanks to this exercise, you can understand if you want to choose the value of relationship, for example, then maybe you need to spend more time to establish these relationships, or more time to find the lady with whom you want this, and so on. So you know what you want, what are your values, and when you date a woman, when you talk to her, or if you found her on some dating website, or again in matchmaking agency, I can say it to you from her questionnaire. First of all, discuss with her values, what is important for her at this stage of her life. Also, what is important Values are visible when you need to choose. For example, you have some situation in life and you need to choose between family and career. Then what you choose is obviously your first priority in life. Values have a hierarchy. Some you can rate your values from 1 to 10, or how many you have, and you also need to do it to understand your priorities better. And as I told you, yes, values can change from time to time. For example, in young years, in the beginning of career, maybe most of young people, they are aimed at career achievements. And what I hear from foreign men when they tell me why they never been married, most of them tell me that they work too much, and then suddenly in their 50s they understand they want a family. So it's better to do it a little bit earlier, because being younger, for sure you have much more chances for long-lasting family life. So, as I told you, when you meet a woman, you talk to her, discuss the values. Maybe don't use the word of values, just discuss her style of life, how much time. Oh, I'm sorry, I have a call. I will decline it now. Так, I'm sorry. When you talk with the lady, what she does, how often she goes to work, how much time she spends with her family, and so on, you understand step by step what is more important for her. What else you should look for to find a woman, serious woman for life, for marriage? Of course, it's quite obvious, and all men seek it, like also many women want to feel its chemistry, its sparkle on the first meeting, the attraction to each other. So it can be named by different words, but when you have immediate attraction to the person, this sparkle, and you say it's chemistry, it's only about biological compatibility. Yeah, we are unconsciously choosing sometimes people with whom we will have healthy children, and we will be good in biological things. But again, don't be in rush with making decisions. Sometimes you can meet a woman and you just like her, but you don't feel very strong attraction. In this case, I suggest you to give your boss one more chance and to meet several times before you make the final decision. Because sometimes you cannot have this sparkle, but still this woman can be quite a good couple for you. Especially it's very important for men who are after 40, I guess, because sometimes when men tell me that he waits the sparkle to happen in his life, and when I ask him how much time ago he had it last time, usually men tell me about their student times or their 20s, and you understand that with the time, as we get older, our hormones are working in a different way, our body is different, and I connected the quick sparkle and passion and everything with the youth too. So in most cases, when man just wants this sparkle on the first date and he's already 45, 50 and so on, it's not likely to happen. I think that it's just time, it's just age, and you shouldn't rely only on this sparkle, because it's only one side of relationships, but we are not... we are still biological creatures, but we are not animals already, and we need to have more in common than just the biological side. Because I guess many examples, maybe you also experienced it in your life, when everything is perfect, everything was perfect in sexual life with some woman, but you understood it's not the right woman for relationships for you or for a family. I guess many people went through it. Now I will read some comments and we'll continue. So the one comment, I would choose family as I don't really like my job, but it pays my bills, so this is why I do it. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you here. While you don't have family, for example, you work more and more, but at least you need to spend some time for building relationship, or at least finding a right woman for this. I have never been married before, but this is because of not finding the right woman. Then my career getting in the way. Yeah, it happens too, sometimes too. But again, if you was dating, for example, 20 girls and they were always wrong for you, maybe it's time to think over what is behind of it. And sometimes when in my practice I see that the type of clients who are telling me no one is good for them during the whole life, and they are dating quite good amount of women, then I suggest to consult with our psychologist to understand deeper what's really happening, because sometimes unconsciously we have some barriers in our mind, in our soul, and in most of the cases people just don't realize it. And in this case, this is better to go to some psychological sessions to overcome it than to matchmaking, and only then to go to matchmaking process or start using some dating applications. Ernie, what kind of values do women look for? Again, it's a very general question. As I told, values are very personalized, and for each woman, for each woman, there will be different answer. So when you talk with some woman, you just better to identify what's important for her in life. I think women look for honesty, ambition, hard work men. Yeah, you are very right, and I notice that for many women it's very important a man to be faithful. I noticed, at least as for American men, they often complain me that their exes were not faithful to them. I don't know if it's some cultural specificity or something else, but it seems for American men it's very important to have faithful partner, and the same is for our women too. Ernie, what are the most important values that match with each other? For example, many American women look for nurturing men. I am not very nurturing, and women complain about this. Let me translate this word just to make sure I understand it in the right way. 1 second. Так. If you talk about being caring, it's very important for girls. I'm sorry, I had a call again. I'm not dating that much right now, but this is why I want to come to Ukraine, because it's something totally different and new. Yeah, I want to say that it's very important for men to start dating before making a choice, because sometimes I have again clients applying to me and they are dating like 1-2 women per year. Of course, it's not enough to choose the right partner, and then maybe the question is not. It's not that women are not right, just in the amount of time you spend, you devote to dating. So it definitely should be more. But in Ukraine, yes, when you come to Ukraine, if you choose the right woman, you have all the chances to success. Again, if your background is good, you are looking good, and you know how to behave, then there shouldn't be any problem with it. When you, as for values, you understand your values, you understand the values of a woman, and you seek for similarity. While the whole talk today I want to say that similarity is the key to success. So the more similar your values are, the more better, the high chances for success you have with this girl. But for women, it can be the family or relationship on the first place, and for you, maybe career on the first place, and family on the second place. It's still good, but because we know that men tend to be too eager to be successful in work first, and they only then they think about the family or relationship. The woman nature is different. First of all, for most of women, it's important to have stable, loving relationships, kids, and only then good work. For some women, for some not at all. So we discussed the attraction, and don't look only to only physical attraction. Look for something deeper connections that you can have. So attraction can be also mental. If you have a similar way of intelligence, similar level of intelligence, for example, or similar level of emotional intelligence, the understanding of each other, it also forms your attraction to each other. Pay attention to these things too. So the most important point to discuss with the woman the vision of the future. So you tell her, you share with her your dreams, how you see your future in 2 years, in 5 years, for example, and she shares the same about her. And just pay attention what are her goals, her vision of the future in general and in few years. Again, it's very important because otherwise you can be in the situation when you start dating, you fall in love, but then when you make your proposal, she can say that, for example, she plans to have children in 10 years, but you are already 45 and you would like to have children at the nearest time. And it won't be a disaster, but it will be some kind of problem for sure in the relationships. And it's better to discuss everything in the very beginning, to avoid some painful situations in the future. Because again, on the level of biology, you can have strongest attraction, the best sex you ever had, but when you start building relationships, you can be surprised that you are too different, in fact. So compare your plans for the future, your vision of the future, and find out if you have something common in this point. The next point, it's friendship. I think that it's the basis of good, long-lasting relationships, for marriage especially. So on the stage of dating, just see and observe if you can really build trusting, sincere relationships with this woman. I believe that in marriage, your woman should be your best friend and you should be her best friend. To trust each other fully, to share the most crazy dreams that you have, or the most intimate dreams that you have. To be able to do it, it's very important. You all know that in marriage, the passion is not so big already like it was in the beginning. And you are left with this friendship, with this talking. And if you don't have it, it's not good. I will read comments now. I see there are more people now. Do they prefer to live in India? Actually, no one of our girls yet told us that she wants to live in India. Definitely. Actually, most of our women, they look for American men, Canadian, European, some men from New Zealand, Australia, such countries. We had once Indian client. Girls were also interested, but the search was much more difficult than usually. We got many rejections too. Ernie, I wonder what family members think about American men dating their daughter. What are family expectations? Actually, when girls applied to us, many of them tell that they didn't tell to their mother or to their father just in case, so they wait for the result. I mean, finding a man, and only then they share with their parents that they found a foreigner. I think that according to the couples who already were made through us and who are dating or getting married, on some stage this foreign man is introduced to the family, and the only thing that usually parents care about is their daughter to be happy. If they see that you are caring, loving her, you have right attitude to her, then they are happy. No problem with it. Of course, if she changes country, there will be not so easy thing to visit each other as often as they could want. But as soon as they see their daughter is happy, it's okay for them. Nothing special. Just like for any parent, it's the most important to see that your child is happy. I am in my mid-30s and I hope that this will be acceptable for the ladies in your agency. Of course, it's perfect age, wonderful age. You are young and you are ready for the family already. It's very good. It's better than in 60 or 70 for sure. So, but I can't say just because of one of the age. I didn't see you, so I didn't talk to you. I can't say for sure that. But as I told you, if you are good looking, you can provide your family. You are ready for family. If you are behaving in the right way with women, there shouldn't be any problem. The next comment: hello, beautiful soul. Warm greetings from Bali Island in Indonesia. Hello. First guest from this side of the world. Hello, hello. How important is the difference of religion to a Ukrainian lady and her family? If the man is Muslim, it can be a great difficulty, because we had several Muslim clients applying to us, and some of them even asking to find a woman who wants to change the religion. Of course, if we ask a woman right away about this, most of them, 100%, I'm sure they will say that they are not ready. But at the same time, I know some couples here in Odessa between Ukrainian women and some Muslim men, and in some time a woman can come to this decision on her own. So it will be just only her decision. Maybe in time, maybe she will decide to change religion, maybe not. It will be the matter of following stages of the relationships. But in the very beginning, they don't want to change the religion. It's impossible, I think, to ask girls about this from the very beginning. As for the other religions, we just didn't have other cases, so I don't know. Ernie, recently I had bad experience. Pay for letters. I want to use your agency. Hopefully, lady will be just as serious as me. Ernie, I hope too. I know you are trying to build relationships, so I hope it will work out. Yeah, I think that again, so now because of this quarantine, I have one client too, and who is asking me about arranging correspondence between him and woman. But again, I don't really recommend to do it because it's better always to meet or to see each other on video call and discuss something, because correspondence can be sometimes it is not so good, and if lady doesn't speak English, it's kind of difficult for her. So I think that you should meet as soon as you can. And we have quarantine now till 24th of April, just to add. And then we all hope that the borders will be opened and you can be able to come to our country, to our city. Now it's everything safe. In the news, we constantly see that the amount of ill people are growing, but maybe it happens just because of testing. But we are closed at homes, but still no many deaths, no disaster in Odessa, so we hope everything will be fine, and all our foreign guests will be able to come in the summer. I guess in the summer we'll have too many clients coming to us, because some visits from spring were already cancelled and they are planned for summer. Ernie, I wonder, would you suggest dating more than one girl? If by dating you mean meetings, regular meetings with a girl, actually I don't advise it. I think that it's better to concentrate on one person, to feel deeply. If you have connection, if you are ready to pay your attention to her for long term, and the same is about you. But again, it depends on the type of personality. I know some men and women, they prefer dating, they can be dating several people at the same time, and they can do it for some reason. So it's your personal choice, but my personal point of view, I told you. The next comment: I'm not Muslim man, and I wouldn't want a girl to change religion and beliefs just for me. It's very right. It's good. It's also why our women mostly want men from Europe, Canada, and so on, because we have different culture, but still much more close than with Muslim people or with Asian people. Sometimes with the people from these countries, we are too different. And I also noticed that Western men, they are very flexible, and they can understand, they can respect a woman and respect her opinion. It's very important for our girls too. Ernie, I wonder what is the average education for Ukrainian women? Average, most of us, we have higher education, it means university. Most, I would say 95%, many people. It's also about the culture, I guess. When I was a school girl, and even before, from people who are older, I always heard that the education was the priority, like the key to success life. It was considered in our country like that before. Now things are changing. Young people are getting different, and now it's became more important to be able to adapt to changing world in a quick way, and to learn new skills and knowledge very quickly, because now 5 years of education in university isn't enough for success in life. And if we talk about professional success, people learn all the time. As I said earlier, I tried to contact you via your website, but I didn't hear anything back. It's strange, but maybe because of some technical error, I don't know. If you can write me on Facebook, for example, today, I will get back to you if possible. Please do it. And we continue now. We discuss the point friendship. So you should be able to have friendship between you and your woman before you make the proposal, before you go to the marriage. What else is important? I decided to discuss it as a different point. It's about sexual compatibility. I won't go to details here. I guess you're able to understand it on your own if you have it or not. But I consider it is the basis, one of the basic things necessary for a successful marriage. And successful marriage is the place where is such a marriage where we feel happy, fulfilled, and when we satisfy all our needs, or almost all our needs. So sexual life is important part, and that's why again I don't advise big age differences between people. So if it's 20 years, 30 years, it's too big, because the man and woman already have two different desires, the needs in different age. So most likely in some time they will start to have issues with that. If they realize it from the very beginning and they are ready for it, it's okay. But why not to build harmonious life when all your needs are met, satisfied, and your needs are met? Why not? So if you just start building the relationships, look for similarity and harmony. What is important to find out again, if you look for a wife, if she's really wanting a family at the moment. Because again, sometimes clients tell me that they were dating some girl from Ukraine, she was young, but then after some time, for example, he spent much money for her English courses, for coming to her and so on, the gifts. But then the girl says that she's not ready for the family now because she's only 21 and she needs to finish your university and so on. Then it's better to discuss such a question from the very beginning, maybe during the first 5 days, if she consider building a family at the nearest 1 or 2 years. It's important to understand. And also, if when you start the relationships, you start dating a woman, you should look, maybe not ask, but look, observe if she is ready to overcome any difficulties. On different stages there will be difficulties in any couple, and the person should be mature enough to be able to understand it and to be able to work on relationships. So when you date a girl, pay your attention what she thinks about it, if she is ready for difficulties, and if she is ready to put some efforts into your relationships in order to build a beautiful, happy family. Because again, it depends on maturity and I guess on the age too. For example, in my 20s, I thought that happy relationships just happen themselves, nothing is required, and that's why it was easy to stop relationships as soon as I didn't like something in them. But in time I understood things are different, and if you really appreciate the person, you need to make some efforts to do something from your side to keep this, to save these relationships. Again, it's difficult. It's important for marriage, but if you are just dating for having fun, you can not to discuss it at all. And my final word here is, as I told you, you should look for similarity in each other, similarity in vision of your future, in your values. You need to feel attraction to each other, maybe not sparkle from the very beginning, but attraction, physical attraction to each other, intelligence attraction. It should be interesting people for each other to talk to. And also you should be both ready to build a family at the moment or in a year after you start dating. And you should be mature enough to be able to overcome difficulties that will inevitably appear in any relationships in 1 year or in 3 months or at different times. And the final word, when you make a choice of woman for marriage, before you make the proposal, just combine thinking and feeling. So there should be love for sure, it is the first thing, and of course connect your mind with this decision, because there are many sad stories when people did not deliberate decisions just because of love. And also, if you are only counting and making a rational choice and want to get married, it's not good too, because marriage can be saved only when you have love. Sometimes you have difficulties, and in some cases only love can help to overcome them. So when you make a choice of a spouse, combine your mind and your love to this woman. Pay attention to these two things. And I will read your comment now. You are very active today. I guess it's because also quarantine all over the world, and we are all sitting at home and talking to each other this way. Ernie, what, please also send me information. I am interested. Since I'm in my mid-30s, I look for a woman in her mid-20s. Yeah, it's reasonable. I guess the age difference up to 15 years, it's quite reasonable. In America, it's very common for intimacy. How should I handle such situation if I offended? Culture differences will make me fail. It's very common. Ernie, I didn't understand these your questions. Can you please explain me what you meant? What are the husband's wife roles in marriage. I want to learn how to be strong Ukrainian man with American values. Again, you should discuss it with your girl first, but from what I observe around, that most of all women see men like a stone wall, like the head of family. So for many women here, they still want to work and develop professionally, but they put the most of their attention to the family first. So family is the priority for them. Usually Ukrainian women, they cook very delicious food. They do it very often. They take care about children and husband to be not hungry, to eat regularly, and only after that, or between that, they pay attention to work or some their hobbies. Most of them do it. Again, not all. So to answer your question, first of all, discuss it with your girl. Just ask her the question how she sees what man should do in marriage and what a woman should do, and you will find especially her answer, because I can give you here only general information, but as you understand, working with people is very challenging, because each of my clients is different, man and woman, and when you make a couple, you should talk a lot and discuss very important things. So I was wondering about making a list of important questions to ask each other on the first stage of dating. Let me know if it's interesting for you, and maybe I will make some document, some list of it and send it to you, or we will make the next live stream about it if it's an interesting topic for you. How soon into dating do Ukraine women expect marriage? I noticed from my observations, again it's a very personal question, but from what I see, at least 1-2 years usually is enough for them to wait, to expect men to do a proposal to them. I know some girls, they are dating for 2 years, 3 years sometimes, and they are starting to worry why man doesn't make a proposal to her, but she waits. Usually women prefer to wait until the man do it, and it will be his own decision. I told you in my other videos, you need at least 1 year to understand each other better, especially living in different countries. You can communicate online every day in some messengers or video calls, but it's better to see each other as often as you can, travel with each other, and meet in your country, in her country as often as you can, and only then you can make this decision. But usually, yes, 1 year is enough for both of you to understand if you are compatible or not, and if you want to stay together for the whole life. How many girls do you have on your agency database? In our agency, it's about 350 ladies, and when necessary, when we don't have enough girls for some picky clients in our base, we apply to our partners, trusted agencies all over Ukraine that we know personally, and we can select ladies from their base too. Yes, please make a list about good questions to ask. This will be useful. Thank you. Just got the idea and you support it. Thank you. We'll do it. I'm very serious and finding partner in other country. What is the success rate with your agency? Again, as for rate, I never really counted it, because how to count it? Dating is a useful process, can be useful process for yourself first, for understanding your beliefs, your expectations, the type of woman you want to find, and so on. So some of the clients told me that even the dating process was useful for them. As for marriages, I remember about maybe 30-40 couples who were made through us, but sometimes we know about them just by occasion. For example, we have a new lady client coming to us, and when we ask her how she found us, and why she decided to apply to us, she tells us about some friend who got married American man through us, and that's why she came. And then suddenly we know about such couple. But when people are starting dating, they met through us and they start dating. Usually on this stage, women ask us to delete her from the base, and men We also don't work with men anymore. They talk, they build relationships, and sometimes they disappear, and after that we know about them getting married. Again, there are some couples who are dating for several years. So how to calculate the rate? Maybe you can help me. If we talk about couples, there are more couples. If we talk about the marriages, there are less marriages, because some people just prefer to live together, not even to marry, especially when they are after 50s and they have already adult children and they just enjoy life together. So maybe you can give me an idea how to calculate success rate. Who chooses a girl for the dates? Me from pictures or you from whom you think will match me best? Yeah, first of all, how the process goes. First of all, I talk with you. I know more about you. Then when we start working with you, I send you the match that I recommend to you according to what I know about you from your questionnaire, and we compare your questionnaire of the woman. And from these recommended girls, you see their profiles, you choose who you like best, and on this end we talk with this girl, telling her that this man is got interested in you, and we find out if she's interested in you too. This is how it works. So usually a man choose first, and a woman just accepts or declines his proposal to meet. I think that I know that different agencies work in different ways, but why I chose this approach is that men by nature are more initiative, more active, and you are able to handle rejections quite easily, usually, in most of the cases. While women, if for example she got interested in you, she chose you, but we say that men rejected to meet you. For most of women, it will be hurting. So I don't want to do it to the women. That's why you choose first. We choose, then you choose, and then girl answers yes or not. How many times a year should I become in Ukraine to keep the relationship active? Again, it depends on your style of life, but the perfect variant would be every month for at least 5 days, but we have some couples, they are 3 months together and then 3 months apart, and they are dating like that for 2 years already. So it can be the more often you see each other, the better, but I think the minimum should be once per 2 months at least. You can easily travel together to some places that don't need visa from our woman. And for most of foreign men, it's quite easy to come to Ukraine too. So it's better to see each other as much as you can. I have financial success. I can take care of women. I'm also very nice, but I'm not very attractive. I wonder if lady looks for model-looking men. Not at all. Actually, it's there are more men looking for extremely beautiful girls in Ukraine than women expecting to eat. I noticed that again it comes from our nature. Men are visuals, and again subconsciously you expect your children to be healthy, beautiful, and when you look at the woman, first of all you should look for the beauty, because beauty, again, it means good genes. So if she has a good shape, again, it is coming from our roots that she is able to give birth easily. So you have high success chances for having healthy children in the future. So subconsciously you like the woman who has good shape, has good breast, and so on. As for women, the most important for her, again from the nature, is to have a man who can give good genes too, of course, but at the same time to take care of her and children. And for 9 months women become different when she's pregnant. Then several years after this she needs to take care of children too. In its perfect variant. Of course, they can be nannies, but there is nothing can be better than a mother. So subconsciously again women choose the person who is able to take care of her, who appreciate her, who is loving, caring, like that. So I think for women it's not so much important how you look, but of course if the person is too much has many extra kilos, for example, or not neat, not accurate, not wearing clothes that is neat, again it's not good for dating at all. There will be much less chances for success, for sure, many rejections from women. And usually I don't have such clients. All clients that I accept, whom I accept to work, they have realistic expectation, otherwise I can't work. And usually they are quite good looking, so that I could recommend them to my lady clients, and the ladies will be happy with it. They won't come from the date with the word it was a disaster. It never happens. Usually they say their gratitude for being able to meet such a good man. Your appearance is not so much important, not model. You shouldn't be a model at all. But you should take care of yourself, be neat, stylish if possible, and just maybe you heard about research that attractive people get even more chances to be hired in jobs. So at any rate, it will be useful for you. Take care of yourself as you can, and but a model man, you shouldn't be like that. Do you background check the girls you have in your agency? We make background checks just through the social networks. We look at her passport, if she's really single or not. But we are not police here, and we can't have access to some secret files. So we do what we can, this type of background check, but nothing. We are not detectives too, so we do some quite obvious things. We rely more on the fact that most of men who apply to us, they are serious in their search and they give truthful information about themselves, and it's the same as about girls. So if she wants to find serious relationships and build a family, why to lie in the beginning? I had one client, again he was Ukrainian, and first of all he told me that he's 10 years younger. I asked his passport, and then I saw he was lying, and we continued to work. But then after a year, he told me about having the second child, not only one, that he claimed in the beginning. And after that, I told him, we are just not working. And he didn't want me to tell to the girls about this second child because they don't live together. But I don't think it's right. For us as the agency, it's right, it's fair to the woman, so I don't like working with such cases. I think that if you come to the agency and you want to build sincere relationships, you come for quality woman to build quality relationships. There is no sense to lie, and if someone wants it, he shouldn't be working with us. I don't see any sense in it. How long do you work with the client for? Again, it depends on the personal case. Usually, if there is a average case, we need about 2 months to find some matches. Again, it depends on the type of package. Man chooses some packages, they include just 3 meetings. Some packages include 10 meetings, and on it also the time depends. And when man comes to us, then we support the couple and talk to the client from time to time how everything goes. 1 year after you form the couple, we support you. So if we talk about the cycle of work before the match, it can be 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. In some difficult cases, I ask clients to wait for 5 months till we find someone. And also when you come and hopefully you might make the couples, and 1 year after that we are in touch, and of course even after that we would be happy to stay in touch with you to understand how things develop between you and our girl who come from our agency. Should I meet family first before I ask to be girlfriend or wife? My last relationship, she didn't introduce me to her family or friends. Ernie, I think it's for sure you should meet, because it's not always very important, but I think at any rate you should look at the family where your girlfriend was brought up. It's important what type of culture bringing up she had, and when you come to the family you understand about it better too. And also it's it's also the gesture of your respect to her family, to meet her parents first. And some people still do it here. They ask permission of parents to ask her hand and to be able to marry. So it's like a sign of respect to parents. If they are good people, adequate people, it's better to meet them and before you make the proposal. That's good to find a woman who can have a family. They want children. Sure, yeah. If you are young, you most probably want children, and young women too, usually. Do Ukrainian women find it hard to trust foreign men that use dating agency? Not at all. When a man comes to us, so lady is more confident that he's a sincere man than someone who is writing her on Facebook, for example. On Facebook, there are many strangers writing to girls all the time, and she never know who is hiding under this picture. Meeting you through when you come to us, she understands that I talk to you personally, I know you, I know the information that you gave me about yourself. Again, I hope my clients don't lie about the facts of their life. So they're even more open for meeting a man through the agency than to meeting online. It's for sure. I talk now about my agency, but again, we had many ladies who come from other agencies and were complaining about some things in them. So again, different experience people have. I agree with you. No man should be lying about how many children he has, as it's a big issue. I have no one, so makes it easier for me. It's for sure. When you don't have children, many ex-wives, it will be easier. I also had a client. I remember he wanted to be a client, and he had 6 children, but I refused because I wasn't really sure if we can find someone for him. For sure, there are some women in this world who are ready for it, but I was kind of doubting if we can help in this case. When I'm adopting or I'm not sure that we can help, I say it to the client right away, and if he decides if he's ready to take some risk and put some effort into the process and to look to see what it will be the result, or I reject. So it's also always a decision of client to try. I wonder why American man fails to find a woman abroad. I would take her many flowers. Some men actually find their happiness, not men. All men fail. I think that you just need to have a right strategy to find a woman here. Many American men and some other foreign men, they look for the pictures online and they look for top models. But if you want to just to spend fun time together, maybe the beauty should be your priority. But again, if you look for a sincere good woman for marriage, you need to look deeper. Will I see what the lady writes in her feedback form after the date, or only you? Usually only we see it, because if there is some not positive feedback, we tell you about this in a delicate way. So it's our internal information. Will I see what the lady writes in? I read it. This is a good question. Would you share the feedback of the lady, or it's private? Is it private? Yeah, it's private, but I can share. I can tell you what it was. Actually, the feedback form for lady is the same short like it is for you, that you fill in. It has the same questions, so they include how went your date, was your date on time or not, if late, why so, and how many from point 1 to point 10. how much this man is close to whom you to the image to the man that you see your future husband, and would you like to continue with this man? Just simple questions, and I can tell you about it. It's not a problem at all. People and clients, men and women, they fill in this form online easily. Just a few minutes you take and do it. What kind of questions does this you psychologist ask or want to find out? You mean in feedback form or what? Where? I don't want to top model. I just want simple good Ukrainian girl who wants to build a family. Yes, it's perfect. It will be the process easier for you, and it will again you will have more chances for success. In fact, women who I call average type here, they are considered to be very beautiful by foreign men. So many women are maybe 1 out of 20 girls are not so beautiful. The rest are beautiful or pretty. So it's easily to find a woman with with good appearance. And then you should look deeper into her priorities, her values, what she wants to have in life. Maybe you have some more questions? I mean, like before we start dating? If you mean the questions before you start dating with women from the agency, we discuss your needs, your wishes, your background information, what is important for you in relationships, what you look for relationships. We talk about your lifestyle, your priorities, your family, where you come from. It's like that. And also, usually our clients fill in questionnaire form with more questions, and where you put again you have the table with making priorities, what you look for in a woman. So what occupies the first place, and what is important, what is very important for you, what's not important at all. So we do it like that. What is percentage of women that speak English? I don't know Russian. As I told you in one of my videos, not many women speak English. We all learn English in schools and universities, but if a woman doesn't practice it every day in her life and her work, then most of them, they can't speak fluently, but they can easily learn it when they have enough motivation. I noticed it from many cases. And they can even learn French, German, that are considered to be even more difficult. When they are in love, they start to do it. So as for the percentage, I don't know. There are younger women, more of them speak English. Older women, less. The percentage, again, I'm bad in math, so not many. Maybe out of 10, maybe 1 or even less. Yes, big majority of all Ukrainian women are beautiful. Yeah, thank you for confirming. I agree. What are the best gifts to bring on a date? Oh, you know, actually it's not a must. You can not do it at all. But of course it will be very pleasant for girls. So in some packages we have flowers delivery. We help you to prepare for the date and we deliver you flowers to give to the girl. And sometimes men who come through us and meet girls, they bring some sweets from the country where they come from. I remember one client, he bought the perfume to each lady he met, like Chanel and so on. But I think he was very generous, and girls were very impressed. But I think if I was a man, I would give a perfume only to my woman. So maybe it's too much for the first date, but at any rate, it's very pleasant. So you can bring her some tasty things, some maybe if you come from France, maybe cheese or sweets, something like that. Perfume, maybe a little bottle, but don't buy, like the sets that are usually sold in duty free, because it's obvious that it was just from duty free and a quick gift. It's better to prepare something special for her, so she would feel special for you. I try to learn Russian, but it's hard to far. I only know a few words. Do you provide a translator? Yeah, it's very good that you start learning Russian. In fact, I have more clients now who are trying to learn Russian and they are getting lessons, and it's very good of you. So if you know in Russian to some extent, at least it will be perfect. It shows again your interest to our culture, your respect to your woman, and in the future you will have more easy communication with your woman. By the way, we have a English Russian teacher, and who gives lessons of Russian to our clients if you want, just by Skype. Of course, we have translator, but again, we give you the service of translator. But again, we advise to have translator just few first dates and no more, because you need to learn with your woman how to do without the third party in your process. I know that many clients told me that before, when they come to some agency sites, that they were stimulated to have translators with them all day long, just because this way the agency gets more paid. But again, as for the relationships, I don't think it's productive. If you plan to build relationships, long-lasting relationships with this lady, you need to learn how to do without translator. So we enhance you not to use the translator too long. Maybe 1-3 days, it's usually enough, and then you start dating a woman without us presenting on the meeting. During the first 3 days, you discuss the most important issues with this woman, like values, vision, what you dream about. You compare if your imagination about the future is similar or not with this girl, and then to walk around the city, to go to the theater, to have rest. You can do it without translator. And how much does a translator cost, or it's a part of the package? Yeah, the package. Most of the packages, all of them actually, they include the hours of translation according to the amount of meetings. For example, if you have 3 dates, you have 3 hours of translation included. And as for additional hours, it's paid $30 per 1 hour. But again, we don't we ask you to do it without us, to communicate as early as you can. Yes, I'm using my different apps to learn Russian, but Skype lessons would be good. Yeah, if you want, again, write me somewhere, and I will send you. We can talk more about matchmaking process if you want. We can meet on free consultation for 15 minutes with video call. And I will send you offer about Skype lessons with Russian language teacher. In the relationships you had made, has any of the women ever asked for money? Actually, I don't remember such cases, but I remember the cases when lady shared with me that she communicates with a man and she had some difficult times, and this man was also always requiring her to talk to him more often, but she couldn't because she was very busy with job, very tired, and she got irritated because she saw that this man was requiring a lot from her attention, her talking to him constantly, but he was never ready to support her. So again, we tell it to our women when they come to our agency that we tell men not to give any money during the 4-5 months of dating first. So if woman expects to find a man who will support her in our agency, then no chance with us if she is a gold digger. But if the woman is serious, usually this condition is quite okay for them. I know some couples that man was helping a lady by himself. Sometimes they even don't tell me, they can tell me later about it. But actually I don't remember any claims that from men that women was just asking about money. I see that women prefer the men to choose where to go on a date, but if it's my first time in Ukraine, how will I know where is the best place to go as I'm a foreigner in her city? Yeah, first of all, in our recommendations also to the woman, we advise women to wait what you want to offer her where to go, because it's more feminine type of behavior. And we also give you, when you come here, we take care of you fully, and we give you the list of good restaurants and bad restaurants. There are many places here in Ukraine, in Odessa especially, that overcharge foreigners, so we take care of you and we give you the list where not to go. And as for good places, there are plenty of restaurants here in Odessa, and it's very developed field, like tourism is very developed here, and we can easily advise you where to go better. Yes, I would like to do a consultation even if I can't come to Ukraine for quite some time due to the quarantine of the coronavirus. Actually, we hope it will be solved by the summer. We really hope. Yeah, just write me please, because here on YouTube I can't write you. Okay? Do you only have ladies in Ukraine in database? What is the difference between Russian and Ukrainian women? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have some Russian women, but not many at all. Just they came to us because of through friends and so on, but not many. I don't see too big age difference between Ukrainian and Russian women, because actually I come from Russia. I was born in Russia, brought up in Russia, and I came to Odessa only when I was 22, I guess, or 21. And I stayed here, so I can compare both. In Odessa especially, I see that women are more taking care of themselves. They are more stylish, more using makeup than in cities of Ukraine, of Russia, where I have been before. But maybe it's only specificity of Ukraine. Plus, Ukrainian women are more open for dating foreign men, much more open. Many of them, they got married. Russian women are not so bold about changing the country and finding a man abroad. For many Russian women, it's like some not very acceptable step. They are frightened, many of them. Ukrainian women, they come to the agency even without any advertising, through friends, so they know that it's fully okay, it's safe, and moreover, in this case, they have more chances for happy relationships than with some local men. Do you have women from Belarus, or they have spoken to some before, and they are very similar to Ukrainian women? Yeah, we had some applications from this country, but we don't accept it because I don't know how we will arrange the visits of men to them. But I have a person who works in Ukraine, in Belarus, and she has agency, so I can advise her to you. She's very serious, good in her job, so I can send you the site if necessary. So do you have some more questions, my dear? Thank you for coming today, by the way, and I'm happy to read your questions, your comments. There are much more of them, and I think it's even more interesting to have these live streams than just to make videos, because in this way we can really communicate, and I can answer your questions. I like to hear, to see people who are really interested in the topic, who are thinking about Ukrainian women and serious in their research. So maybe you have some more questions? I want to try my luck in Ukraine first, and if I have no success, then maybe I will try Belarus. I guess yes, you can try this way, of course. I love your live streams, they are always very good and interactive. Thank you. They are like that because of you. You always ask questions, interesting questions. Thank you for your activity. By the way, I just started these live streams, and you are who who visited me today. You are my first followers who are active in asking, and I'm very grateful to you for that. Thank you for being with me, and thank you for your trust. I enjoy talking to you. You see, I have a change in voice already because of talking a lot. But I really enjoyed our time today too. I wonder if I should make decision about going to restaurant. Does women like to lead or men lead the relationship? Again, it's a very personal question about each lady. Each lady is different. But as I told you, if the woman wants some strong man next to her, we tell the woman in our recommendations that she should allow a man to be like that from the very beginning. So she should wait where he wants to invite her. But of course, if you don't know where to go and you want your woman to be pleased how you spend your evening, you can easily ask her and she will tell you. Just as I told you, we give you the list of bad restaurants, and you will see immediately if it's good or not. But again, we never had the problem with our girls inviting men to bad restaurants. Do all your ladies in your database come to you, or do you try to find them? We use both ways, so we always do advertising so that the women could come to us through the sites, through social networks, through friends. And also sometimes I make the personalized research. For example, I have a client and I want to have new women for him in addition to our base. So I look around my friends and around my connections on Facebook, on social networks quite often, because this way we get new ladies too in the base and new candidates for men. So we use both ways. Because some ladies are still reluctant to come to agency, and sometimes we are advised. For example, I can write to my friends. I'm looking for such type of woman, for such a man. Then we are recommended this women. So I'm back. Yes, you have been talking for over an hour. Yeah. What if lady asked me to do shopping? Is it this normal? Ernie, I think it's not normal, especially if you're just starting to date. Actually, from it's my personal point of view, but I'm sorry. I hope you see me again. So if you are just starting to date and she asks for the gifts to go to shopping, it's not normal for sure. It can happen when you're already a stable couple and not just she asks shopping. You see that he or she wants and you can tell her, suggest her. But in the very beginning, it's not normal for sure. And do the women you have mainly come from Odessa, or will they travel to Odessa for the date? Mostly women who we have there from Odessa, but also we have some from different cities of Ukraine. Plus, if she comes from different city or from different agency, she comes to meet a man. But usually men compensate her train ticket or bus ticket because it's not very expensive usually, and man takes care of it. You are back, it's good. Once Ukrainian women said, man is the head, a woman is the neck. What does this mean? It means that in a funny interpretation, it means that man makes the decision. He thinks that he makes, but in fact, the neck is giving him these decisions. So we are said that wisdom of woman is to make decisions, but the way that when a man thinks that he who is making decision. I hope I explained you. So do you have some more questions, my dears? How soon into dating a Ukrainian woman should propose the idea of going on vacation together? I think 2-3 months is enough in dating in Ukraine, and then you can go somewhere together for some trip. So I need to finish our talk now, and the next week I will be here. I plan to do it the next live stream on Friday, and I'm still yet thinking about the topic that we will discuss. And meanwhile, I'm learning. I'm taking a new dating course for coaching, and I hope to add additional value to our future talks with you, to our future work. So, and I answer your last question. Are there any common mistakes as foreign men make while on a date with a Ukrainian lady? I don't know what. One local man proposed to share a bill to a woman, and it was a disaster because it was their last date. As for foreign men, I don't actually remember they made some big mistakes. I told you, as soon as you are interested in talk, you have a good clothes, stylish, and according to our culture, you open the door, help you with the chair, you pay in restaurant, you give compliments, then it's okay. And it's quite a big topic, and probably we will talk more about it in a separate live stream, if you don't mind. Thank you again for your questions, for your comments, and I hope to meet you again soon and to talk more. I really enjoy our time together, our evening. Have a nice day or have a nice evening, and see you soon.